Hello, my lovely Year 5 artists. We're going to start our final challenge by doing some planning. So the first thing I want you to do is get out all your past experiments. So this is the very flat one that we first did, looking at innovations and inventions. We then did another one where we were trying to make it a relief collage, where it was sticking up in different places. Some of it was flat and some of it was really stuck up, which looked really effective. Both of these were abstract. We weren't trying to make pictures or we were trying to make it look like anything particular. We were just using shapes to make an interesting pattern and design. This one, we were trying to make something. We were trying to make a face by layering up all different images on top of each other, and we made faces. And then these ones were some nice experiments that we did last using cutouts, where we were cutting out sections and we were using templates. Some of it spilt over the page, some of it was in relief, so it was very flat, but a few little areas were in relief and sticking up. On this one, you can see the relief here we did where we were folding it. Okay, so those were my two examples there using maps. So the next thing you need to do is decide how big you want your paper. Your starting point could be A4 or it could be A3, and you could have it landscape or portrait, whatever way up you want it. Now we're ready to look at materials. I asked you to do a bit of collecting if you could. I suggested you might want to have a look around school or where you live to find bits of rubbish and use that like Mark Bradford did. Or maybe get some old bus or tram tickets like Schwitters. Maybe you managed to find some bottle caps, something like Vimto bottle caps, and use those like Anatsui. Whatever you manage to find is great, but if you didn't collect things, don't worry, because I have. I found things like some old newspapers for you. So this is Manchester Evening News, our local newspaper. I also went to some second-hand shops and found some old A to Zs, which are Manchester maps. And these are great because they've got all the maps and things, but they're also got things like street names all at the back and stuff. That would be really interesting to collage with as well. So you're welcome. I've got that for you. And then another thing I've got for you is some more photocopies. So these are the ones of people. I did 10 pages for you of famous people, scientists and thinkers and artists. And I also did some nice fabrics as well to represent people from all over the world. Then I did 10 sheets of all the Manchester innovations for you, things like football, submarines. And then I did another 10 pages for you, full of images to do with the place of Manchester. We've got there places like, I don't know, there's a university. Oh, there's Longside Market. There we go. Lots of different places in Manchester. So there's lots of pictures and lots of things you can use. I've also got a special treat for you as well. Oh, yes. Do you remember how Vimto was created in Manchester? Well, boys and girls, I've got you a treat. Oh, yes. Ba, ba, ba. I've got you all a little taste of Manchester. Vimto was created in Manchester, and I thought it would be fun for you to have a bit of food for thought while you were doing your designing today. So I've got you all a lolly, a Vimto lolly. But of course, we're a healthy school, so this isn't just a sweet treat. It's for art, because as well as eating the lolly, you can have the wrapper. Yes, we can use that like Mark Bradford and stick it on. A bit of wrapper. Excellent. That's for when you're designing. There's one thing in your box I don't want you to use, which is this, the Premier Map of Manchester, the A to Z version here. That's because it's a giant map, and what I want you to use that for is when you've finished all of your collages, you're going to lay them out on these giant maps as a display. So don't use these at all in collaging. Anything else? Absolutely fine. So look at all the materials. Have a think about which ones you want to use, and then you're ready to do some designing. This is where you can eat your lollipop, because it's good to get your brain working, I think. So think about the background first. I'm going to start with my white piece of paper, and I think I'm going to put maybe one of those bits of A to Z. And then I think I'm going to cut out strips of the paper to be buildings, because Manchester's such a big city full of buildings and things. I think that would be really interesting to do. And I'm writing here ideas of sort of like some of the background here. I'm saying, yes, I want to use maybe A to Z on the background. And then I'm thinking here, that one's very flat. Maybe I'll do something that's a bit more relief. So this time I'm thinking about making little towers by rolling the paper into tubes and gluing them down, and then doing some background with lots of lines and thin strips of paper cut out. And again, it sort of like represents the tower blocks of the city, but that one's in relief this time. And then another idea. Keep going until you've run out of ideas. This time I'm going to use maybe the face templates to do a layering up of faces. I could use maps like we did before, though I think I might do some of those nice fabrics from around the world, or maybe some of the famous people who are Mancunians. Oh, and here I thought actually I might do that as a bit of a relief by putting in some folds. So have a play. What you don't want to use is words. We're not using words, we're not using letters. This isn't text art. This is purely to do with the images that we're making. It can be pictures like these, or it can be completely abstract and just all about the shapes. Whatever you do, just enjoy designing and enjoy coming up with lots of ideas, which you'll be able to use when we get on to lesson 2. So there you go, there's my planning. Remember to start with looking at your old exploration of collages to get some ideas. Have a look around at each other. There's nothing wrong with sharing ideas and planning. Really looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. It can't be wrong because it's all your work. So have fun planning.